Okay, folks, we're starting a little early here, so don't be surprised.
Welcome to the OhioRAAM Show.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another great live version of the OhioRAAM Show tonight. This is Jim Lawyer here, and we've got Lee Kreider over there. How's it going, Lee?
I'm doing fine. You got your computer online again, is it?
Yeah, had to do a total rebuild on it. Wonderful Windows updates, but we won't go there.
Wow. Well, let's hope you stick in there. Hope I stick in there as well. The world of computers is really fun, isn't it, Jim?
Oh, definitely. Not only have to deal with them every day now, I deal with them at night on my spare time. So
yeah, well, I don't know what you're going to say.
I know.
Well, we come to you because of the wonderful people, so many of them, who operate our time stations here in Ohio. Time stations 41 in Oxford, 42 in Blanchester, and 43 in Chillicothe, which is where
my stomping grounds.
Your stomping grounds. And these are time stations on the race across America. And we want to get a shout out to Mike the Sign Man. Everybody loves the signs that's in here in Ohio and in parts of Indiana. And Mike does this out of his own pocket. It cost him a lot of money. So if you could just send a few bucks to Mike, you can do that by going to our website, OhioRAAMShow.com. And on the right-hand side, the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a place where you can drop a few dimes on him. I'm going to suggest $10. We can't send you a sign because of that, but if you do the $10 at one of our time stations as you're there, you'll get a sign, which makes a great place for a souvenir. So many walls that we have on the show have one of those signs in the background. Definitely. And someday I'm going to do a video of all the different locations we have found signs from Alaska to Poland and places in between. And they're a great place to collect signatures with a Sharpie pen.
Exactly.
We can't send them. Sorry. They're just not possible to mail. But if you give a donation to Mike and just print off that you've done that, hang on to it, and they'll give you a sign when you get there. That $10 will give you a sign plus puts one on the road. So he loses what, 50, 60 of those every
at least
every year. And so we want to always give him his due attention. Hey, Jim, we're getting a lot of the UltraCycling community is starting to follow us more and more on Facebook. I noticed our numbers are going up. Definitely. We'd like you to join these people by following us there. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to click that subscribe button. And while you're there, ring that bell.
Definitely.
And that will keep you informed of future shows. Okay. Jim.
And definitely. If you are out there watching, post a comment. Let us know where you're from and any questions or comments you have for our guest or us tonight. Be greatly appreciated, and we'll get you a shout out when you do that.
Okay, and I see we got a comment already coming up there.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Jerry Brick.
Yeah, he's become one of our regulars, and we appreciate him. We always appreciate our regulars. So be
Definitely.
sure to check in with us and let us know that you're out there. I mentioned last week my son Scott in Tokyo and for the marathon there, and he sent us just a wee video of greeting from that city.
Ohio gozaimasu, OhioRAAM Show viewers. I'm Scott Kreider, son of one of the co-hosts, saying hello to you from bustling Shinjuku, Tokyo. And it's a beautiful morning here, enjoying the sights, and best wishes for all your cycling and your goals. So hope you're having a great day, and best wishes.
And he had a great race. It was, I guess, perfect weather, and it worked out well.
That is awesome.
Also, in news announcements, I have Lisa Ashford in Australia is wanting to be the first woman to complete a World UltraCycling challenge of circumnavigating Australia. She's in that right now. I have talked with Lisa, and she wants to be on the OhioRAAM Show when she's done. And Jim, I think maybe after the race across America, while we're in hiatus, we'll do a special show with Lisa. I think that would be great.
Yes, definitely.
I wish I had known about that earlier. We might have got her to do some video feeds while she's doing that. So, Lisa, good luck and keep on pedaling.
Definitely.
And the other thing I have, Jim, before we get on, is next week we're going to have Love, Sweat, and Gears on again. I say again, but it's a new team.
Definitely.
That from what they had, well, I believe we had them on last year, didn't we?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, the Nebraska ladies. They always put together a great team, great fun. Julie Lyons heads that up, and we're going to have those women on next week. And that should be a really fun show, Jim.
Definitely will be, yes.
I think we're ready to head out to Iowa.
All right,
we're going to give Iowa a try, according to the song with Heather. Welcome back to the OhioRAAM Show, Heather.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
Hey, this makes you a regular on the show now.
A little bit, yeah.
You have received regular status. You're getting ready to do RAM 2023. We knew it had to happen, and we just didn't know when.
I know. Yeah.
Well, you're going to do awesome. I know you will.
That's the hope.
Oh, no hoping about it. There you go.
No,
definitely.
I know. We're working for it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, if anybody can, you can. And we'll be looking, and maybe we'll be following you a little more closely during the race. Hopefully we can.
Definitely. Yes, we will.
And also your crew chief is with us, Greg George. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And you're in Arizona.
I am. I'm normally an Iowa resident, but decided that Iowa winters are just a little bit more than I can hack anymore. So I winter in Arizona in the Sedona area.
There you go.
Well,
nice.
Well, all of us had to get up an hour early this morning, and we're none the worse the wear for it, I don't think. But it's nice that, well, it just now got dark here in Ohio. So it's kind of nice to see the sunlight a little more in the evening. I know it makes my wife feel a lot better.
Yeah, it'll help all of our attitudes.
Yeah.
Jim, what's your question?
Oh, Heather, how did you get started in this crazy thing called UltraCycling?
Well, that was 2015. I started with fitness, and then I lost a bunch of weight. I wanted to celebrate with a bike ride in Colorado, and that ride got canceled. And so then I ended up doing Gravel Worlds, which was my first UltraCycling event.
Wow.
So I had never raced like solo anything, and I was like 150 miles. I'll try. Everybody in Des Moines was going, I might as well. And then the wheels came off the bus after that. Just it was great. It's a lot of fun, and
why not
getting a little longer.
Why not start right at the top? Huh?
There you go.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Go big or go home.
Around with the small thing.
Yeah.
And I know you've done the Hoodoo 500 and a few other ones, the Iowa Wind and Rock.
Yep.
And how How did you qualify for RAM?
Well, I was qualified for a race across the West in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
But then last year was Tour of Central Iowa. I did the Man 380, which was the first mixed surface RAM qualifier. So
Wow.
that's Sarah Cooper hosted that, and
Yes.
Relentless Racing. We all know her, and Steve
Mhm.
Fuller and Dory. So anyway, that one was great. So technically, I qualified again, but I'm qualified.
Outstanding.
And we should also mention, because Heather probably won't, that she won that race outright, males or females.
That
Heather
is
was the winner of the
awesome.
inaugural race.
That was good.
That's amazing.
That's
That's a
good.
great job.
Thank you.
Greg, what kind of tasks or things are you having Heather do getting her prepared for RAM this year?
Ride her bike a lot. Well, it's been an evolution for us along the way, progression toward this goal over the last couple of years. And, part of it is some small things, like getting the right bike fits, those kind of things. But then also the fitness side of things as well. And really her progression toward RAM started probably back in November-ish timeframe when we start building volume progressively up to the race. And as we talked a little bit before we got on the air, with Heather, a lot of it's working around her schedule as an ER doctor. She has a lot of different. Every week is different. Every day is different, and a lot of her training has to work around her night hours, her afternoon hours, etc. So it's just a lot of volume and intensity mixed to try to accommodate her work schedule.
Gotcha. Now, I know you're kind of a dual role, her coach and her crew chief, correct? How does that play out?
It makes it busy.
Definitely.
We're also good friends too, so we ride together as well. When I'm in Iowa. But it does. There's some good sides of being coach and crew chief, and then the harder side. The harder side is just can be pretty time consuming to cover both ends. But the good side is I know what she's doing for training, and I can have realistic expectations of what she can do for helping to organize the race and stuff, because I know, well, this is a busy week or a hard week or whatever, and we can't load a lot of extra on her during this time period because she has to do the work. Gotcha. So it gives me a little more insight. I help with also with the planning and that kind of stuff, with the race planning and that as well. So, gotcha.
How do you think it works, Heather? Do you like that mix? Evidently you do, because you're doing it. So,
well, I mean, I don't really have a choice. Like, I'm locked into my career, and I love what I do from an UltraCycling standpoint. I mean, I took a much more devoted approach to RAM this year so far, in that I took some time off from work. We shifted schedules around so that I have some more dedicated time to train and recover better. And we've definitely learned some things with RAAM. So we're putting all of that to work.
Gotcha. Now, being the profession you have, does it help or hinder you in your sleep patterns, getting ready for RAM, etc.? I mean, you're used to staying up a lot, I guess, and that would help, I would assume, but it might also hinder. How does that work?
It's both, definitely both. It helps, as you said. I'm all over the map with shifts, and I kind of have my little micro routines. So I feel like I'm kind of adaptable in that way, but it also becomes a big hindrance after, still working for me. Overnight is not a natural thing. And so coming off those overnights and trying to function on a completely flip-flopped routine affects my ability to recover from big workouts and things. So that's where Greg, it's kind of like herding cats, trying to work through my work schedule and what can she do, what can't she do, and that balance. Gotcha. It's challenging, but
definitely. How are you guys set up for crew? You're gonna have a seasoned crew, or people you've been with you before, or is it a new crew? Or
I'm still pretty new to the whole thing, so
right.
I mean, Greg was with me as crew chief before, and we've worked together now from a coaching standpoint for several years.
Right.
And Rose is coming back, and then I have other people that I've interacted with that they have different experiences either through RAM or other big crew type events, just not necessarily RAM in particular. So it's actually going to be a mix of people.
Outstanding. Now, how are you set for bikes? Are you going to have multiple bikes with you? One for flat, one for climbing, or how are you working that this year?
Yeah, for sure. I have 3 and probably a 4th. Everything's going badly bike. But yeah, I'll have a bike for climbing,
Mm-hmm.
the time trial bike again for flats, and then a more comfortable endurance bike for the rest of it.
Gotcha. Excellent. Lee, do you have any?
Well, my throat gave out. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. I lost my train of thought there when you stumbled. As far as nutrition and all that stuff, how are you guys handling that for RAM?
Well, I mean, I like some liquid nutrition. Typically, food is important to me for feeling full and feeling kind of human. So, I mean, I think it's going to be a mixture of those types of things. And then really it comes down to when you're tired, you just need nutrition, and whatever you can get down, that's probably what's going to happen.
Gotcha.
I mean, with a smart approach, obviously, but really you need calories, just figure out how to get them.
Definitely.
And part of it is the training in process too, is to try to work out what can she tolerate. And we're also, it's pretty well documented that training your gut is a real thing. And we're trying to, Heather gets tired of me harping at her on Training Peaks, but you need to eat more, you need to eat more, you need to eat more in all of her workouts. But part of that is just training the gut to be able to process food while exercising.
Yep. Outstanding. How are you training for the heat that usually happens at the beginning of the race on RAM?
Well, I mean, my hope will be, our weather will be a little bit warmer, thankfully, by the time we get there. But I've done heat training protocols in the past, which I'll come back to those. Right now, I don't need it quite yet.
Right.
Just trying to survive the winter up here.
Definitely.
Get the volume in.
But about 8 weeks out, eight to 10 weeks out, we'll start specific heat adaptation protocols. Generally, those are hot baths.
Okay.
They, well studied. They work well. We did it during raw, and we also tracked Heather's core temperature during raw, and kept her at a reasonable level during all of the race. So and we were recording temperatures of 125, 130 on a Garmin at the time, and we kept her core temperature at 100, 101 peak.
Oh, that's great. Boy, I just lost it, Lee.
Well, maybe my throat will hold up for a little bit. I just want to say this may be a good time to recognize the crew. We're trying to do that a bit more on the show because these people give themselves for this, and we have a list of the crew members there. Some of those names are names I recognize, and some of the rest are people you recognize. Looks like a nice mix of people. And we want to thank them for taking time out of their busy lives to be with you for your 8, 9, 10, 11 days, whatever it takes. And thank you for that, being a crew member.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we don't go anywhere without them. So I think I appreciate you putting a focus on them, because that's really it. We don't go anywhere without them. They help make the race.
Well, we don't say enough about them, and I think in the future we're going to try to spend a little more time actually recognizing these people.
Agreed.
Do you guys have a plan developed that you're going to strictly follow, or is it kind of a plan and then you play it by ear, kind of to the plan?
Well, I mean, we're working on that plan right now as far as like shift change and sleep
right.
goals. Certainly, we'll have a plan that we'll try to adhere to the best that we can. But as we all know, things change, weather patterns, performance patterns on my end, crew dynamics, whatever the case may be. We'll have to obviously be adaptable, because that's kind of ultra. But yeah, we will have a plan.
Gotcha.
We have a plan. We're just
always important to have a plan. And I always look at them as kind of a roadmap.
Right.
This is where we start, and then we adjust as needed. I think you can also fail by being too rigid and following it exactly, but I think it's also an obvious potential failure if you don't have a plan to start with. So we will have a plan. We'll adjust as we go based on conditions as they appear.
Gotcha. Now, how are you working your vehicle situation? You going to have RV, minivans, or what kind of situation you got going there? I know it varies from people to people.
We'll have a primary follow van and then a sleeper van and then probably a third van.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
Outstanding. As far as how you're training during the winter, do you ride indoor trainer, or how do you get the training that you need?
This year has been different than what I expected. Iowa actually got quite a bit of snow early in the year, and so when I went back to training, our roadways were completely covered. And I really, part of Ultra, I think it's important to enjoy the training that you're doing for this. Like, there's work that needs to be done, but I'm riding a lot of hours, and I actually really want to enjoy what I'm doing. So I like to be outside. That's why I got into Ultra, and so I spent up until the first week of February, almost exclusively on the fat bike outside. I mean, I do
Wow.
intensity training on the trainer, but I did a lot of outside stuff. I've kind of gotten to where I can ride pretty effectively on that bike, and it's really base miles at that point. I had a great time.
Excellent.
So different, a little unorthodox, I suppose.
Definitely. Lee?
Yeah, well, I'm going to ask Greg, what do you think is the biggest challenge Heather's going to face, or you're going to have to deal with as far as Heather?
I think part of it's going to be working through her fatigue, which is going to be really for everyone. It's not necessarily unique for Heather. So it's trying to work through the amount of sleep that she needs. We've got a strategy for what we think it's going to be, but we'll have to wait and see how her body responds. Then kind of, again, the obvious things like saddle issues, feet issues. We've been trying to work through progressively through all of those as part of the training. But again, you're talking about day after day, and I think we need to expect those things will happen. And then, of course, the non-Heather related things, which is just making sure the crew's on track, doing what we need to do, and primarily being safe. As I keep harping at the entire crew, they'll probably get tired of me saying it, but safety will be the number one thing.
Gotcha.
The second most important aspect is, after safety, is getting Heather to the finish line.
Definitely.
And then the rest of it is how quickly can we get her to the finish line. So in that order.
Great.
Do you have, other than finishing, do you have a goal in mind?
Well, I mean, I always have goals, but we have to march it out. And actually, this has to be very realistic. Like I said, I'm new to this distance. My primary goal is to finish the race. Certainly, I'd like to come in under 12 days, but we'll see how we do.
Oh, you will. As a relatively newcomer to the sport, what's one thing you've learned or gathered that you could tell somebody that wanted to do this also that helped you a lot?
Boy, that's a tough question. There's a lot of things, but I think immerse yourself in the community. It's a very welcoming community, and ask questions. There's lots of websites and forums like this and shows like this where you can ask questions and network with people, and then just get out there and ride your bike, go to some events, have some fun, rub shoulders with people.
Outstanding. Now, do you have any events you're going to do before RAM that is going to help you go that way, or are you going to kind of mellow out and just do your training?
I'm just training.
Gotcha.
I didn't want to take any kind of injury risk. I just just focus on my goal.
Makes sense.
Are you going to have any time to acclimatize to the heat at all, or?
Yes. So I'm hoping to get out there several days early so I can spend a little bit more time. And then like Greg mentioned, we'll do a heat adaptation protocol as well. Plus it will be a little bit warmer here. So I think, we'll be okay in that regard as best we can be.
I would say that one of the interesting things about the Man 380 that Heather participated in last August was really one of her strong points relative to everybody else, was her capacity to handle the heat. That's really where she separated herself from all of the other competitors. And again, a part of that is the heat protocol, and Heather's just really steadfast at following the process and getting the benefits from it. So we hope to see the same thing here.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, are you guys going to do any complete crew training rides before RAM?
Yes, absolutely. We'll be getting together in April most likely April for a big training event. Try and get as many of our people together to work out the kinks of crew changes and
Gotcha.
feeding and equipment.
Excellent, excellent. Now, are you riding for any charities on RAM?
Yes, I'm riding for two. The Urban Bicycle Food Ministry, which is the group that we were affiliated with for Race Across the West, and then also DMARC, which is another local food pantry that helps our metro.
Gotcha. You have any sponsor shout outs you want to give?
I'm actually not officially sponsored, but Belarus Cycling obviously has been a huge force behind me. You know, they helped me with Race Across the West. They're also going to be helping again this year too. So
that is excellent. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about real quick, or you have anything else you want to say to our viewers?
Greg?
No, we're just really looking forward to the event. Really appreciative of the crew. I'm thrilled that you put them all up on the board.
Yes, definitely.
As Heather mentioned, we just can't do it without them, and we're fortunate to have some great people on the team, and we think it's going to be a great event overall.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we can't wait to watch you guys come through Ohio on your way to a great finish. We'll be here cheering you on at all 3 time stations. Lee?
Yeah, well, thanks, Demi, for getting in there from
yes,
Croatia. We appreciate that. One of my relaxations is watching these rail travels, and I've been watching through Croatia, and I think some very beautiful scenery there. But we have on the show notes, you can follow Heather, and I'll put those up because we talk about show notes. This is what they look like, and they're right below the video on the OhioRAAMShow.com website, right below the video of Heather. The one we're going to pull out of there, you won't see it, is Twitter, because she's not really active on Twitter there. I guess it's kind of in demise for cyclists and maybe everybody else for that matter. But you can follow there, and like I said, hopefully we'll be able to do some following of Heather through the OhioRAAM Show facilities as well. So, we want to thank you guys for being with us. It's been great.
Yes,
thanks for having us on.
I guess maybe I would be. People would think I was ill or something if I didn't ask my 4:00 question.
I was gonna say something about that.
With Heather, I don't know how to phrase it because she's usually awake or often awake at 4 a.m. But in your quiet moments, Heather, and you think about what's coming up, what are the things that cross your mind? I'm not going to say what you worry about, but what is it you think about a lot?
As far as cycling or
the
just
race
anything?
across America.
Race across America.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, I mean, the logistics of all of it. You know, it's constantly an evolving checklist. That's probably what plagues me the most is the running checklist. I need to get this done and purchase this and.
Let's ask the coach crew chief the same question. What do you think about when you wake up in a cold sweat thinking about RAM?
I think it's just the preparation to get there. I think, once we get there, things will kind of flow. And as Heather mentioned, there's just a lot of checklist related things. I would also give a shout out here to Heather's husband, Dave, who is an active participant in this thing too. He's been coordinating vehicles. He's been coordinating some of the discussions. It's a lot of help to have him as part of the team too, to help coordinating this. And so it takes a lot of pressure off of both of us. Heather can spend a little more time just focusing on the bike. I can spend a little more time on the coaching side, and having people step up like that helps that interim aspect of it. But really, that's the biggest thing, is just trying to coordinate all the pieces to make sure that we're all ready and at our full capacity on race day when it starts.
Outstanding. Lee?
Well, Dami's in the process of 4 different messages says, nice to see you.
Yes.
And it was nice to see you too. Hey, we haven't forgotten about you, Dami. We know you're out there. And we'll be in touch. So thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, definitely.
thank
It's
you.
a pleasure having you on
Appreciate
here.
It's always a pleasure to have
Yes.
Heather with us. A pleasure to have Greg with us and get acquainted with him.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And we want to thank
Absolutely.
everybody for watching the show. Don't go away when we go off the air, folks. We'll chat for just a moment. And I believe that pretty much wraps us up.
Yeah,
Just don't forget to follow us on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube.
definitely.
We're making some new numbers there, and join the UltraCycling family at the OhioRAAM Show Crossroads. We appreciate that a lot.
Yes.
And I think Greg is ready to do his job.
All right,
Yep.
get him in here.
Okay, let's go.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music by Kevin MacLeod.